The biggest talking point today is Rahul Gandhi's disqualification, and should he just have apologized to the court and put an end to it? The Congress party says that this is petty politics, but is it? What do the Congress leaders believe? I have with me the Congress MP Karti Chidambaram joining us today. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, of course, want to ask you, on Rahul Gandhi's disqualification, there are so many questions around it. Many people believe Rahul Gandhi should have just apologized, or at the outset they asked, why isn't that the Congress party even appealing to the High Court?
See, you shouldn't view this disqualification as some sort of a routine legal proceeding which led to a disqualification. That would be completely erroneous. You need to look at this disqualification, in my opinion, in the reverse order. In fact, there is a reverse engineering process which has taken place. The BJP wanted to deprive Rahul Gandhi the platform of Parliament. Wanted to prevent him from saying what he was saying, prevent him from raising whatever question he was raising in Parliament. They wanted to prevent him from doing that. In order to prevent him from doing that, they needed to deprive him of his membership. Okay. In order to deprive him of his membership, they needed a trigger which would lead to a disqualification, which is a 2-year sentence.
Okay, but the BJP says...
Listen to me. In order to get a 2-year sentence, they needed a trial which would lead to a 2-year sentence. In order to have a trial, they needed a legal case. In order to have a case, they needed a complaint. Okay. So basically, after Mr. Rahul Gandhi's speech, particularly on the motion of thanks to the President and his subsequent speeches in England, the BJP went shopping. This judgment will never be sustained in the higher court. We know that.
So in the statements that have been made by the Congress leaders, including Mallikarjun Kharge, like I mentioned, they've said that this was a statement that was made in Kolar. Why bring it to Gujarat? In fact, he seemed to be questioning the judiciary. That's what the BJP has said. When he says that the judges were changed, we know why it was brought to Gujarat. There's a reason why it was brought there. The top Congress leaders have said this. Is this questioning of the judiciary, one? And secondly, you're saying this is not going to stand legal scrutiny. Then why not go to a high court?
It will happen. It's not high court. It has to go to from the magistrate court. It will go to the sessions court. It will go to the sessions court. It's a 170-page judgment in Gujarati. So people will have to translate it and they will file it. It's only been a week. It was on the 23rd. Today we are on the 30th. And I'm sure certified copies of the judgment only gave. I don't know when they got the actual certified copy. While you are in the business of breaking news, only need I can't go to court with the breaking news. I need to go to court with a certified copy of the judgment, and then also with official translated copies. So I do not know when they all got that. The appeals will be filed. Appeals will be filed in the appropriate forum.
Is there a delay in the?
There is no delay at all. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wish the judiciary worked in the pace in which you think it should be working. You can't get a judgment one day, appeal the next day, and then move on. That doesn't work that way. People need to apply their minds. They will find reasons to appeal, and the appeal will be filed. The Congress party has got a strong legal team, and the legal team will definitely, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself would have personally a strong legal team. They will definitely exercise all the legal remedies which are available to him.
Okay. On the question of whether Rahul Gandhi should have just apologized or, at least given a clarification that this is not something he meant for the entire community. Because in the Jharkhand High Court as well, in similar arguments, he had said he didn't mean it for the entire community. See, he meant it only for the individuals. Why not issue a clarification?
What he should have done, what he should have done, I'm not qualified to answer for him. But all the point I'm trying to make is, if you listen to his speech, he does not refer to a community. He does not. That if anybody says that in his speech in 2019 in Kolar, he was referring to a community, that is completely erroneous.
But he says, why are all the thieves called Modi?
It is only referring to a name. He is not referring to a community. To be honest with you, I do not believe, and I'm willing to be corrected. The 3 names he mentioned, I'm sure they don't belong to the same community. I'm sure those 3 names he mentioned in his speech do not belong to the same community. So there was never a direct, indirect reference to a community at all. There was only reference to 3 names who coincidentally might be the same, but it was never a reference to a community. So this entire proceedings is mischievous. To say that he referred to a community is mischievous. And I'm willing to be corrected. If somebody can actually categorically tell me whether those 3 names he mentioned actually belong to a community.
So why didn't Rahul Gandhi issue that clarification that I didn't mean it for the community at large?
I think it was apparent, but if you listen to his speech repeatedly, you will realize that he's not referring to a community. That itself was a complete mischievous interpretation.
Okay. Do you think the Congress party has picked up a wrong battle when it says that, this is a case in Kolar, it should not have been taken to Gujarat? No, but the Chief Justice of India has said there's no political pressure whatsoever. And
nobody has suggested political pressure. We are only taking whether the cause of action arose in Surat. Aren't we allowed to say whether the cause of action arose in Surat or not? Speech given in Kolar. How does the cause of action arise in Surat? That's exactly what we're questioning, and that's a legitimate question that will be answered in the. If the magistrate believed that he had jurisdiction, that will be challenged now in a higher court now.
Okay. So when Rahul Gandhi addressed the media after that, he said, I'm not Savarkar, I'm Rahul Gandhi, I'm not going to apologize. So it's clear that he is not going to apologize. But the fact that he mentioned Savarkar did not seem to be going to, well, not just with BJP, but even Uddhav Thackeray.
It's natural. There are regional parties. Everybody will have their own heroes and people they look up to. We can't expect everybody to be completely aligned with us and everything. If all of us align, just because we are in a political alliance and we align ourselves on every issue, we might as well all merge into one political party. I am in the DMK in Tamil Nadu. I mean, the DMK and I, and we don't necessarily align on every issue. For example, in the issue of releasing the convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, the Congress party and the DMK differ. The DMK welcomed the release, where the Congress party has in fact gone on a review to the Supreme Court. So on every issue, and in every issue, particularly emotive issues, we cannot expect, even on policy issues, we can't expect parties to be completely aligned. There will be differences, but we are coming together for a larger purpose. We'll have to see whether the larger purpose is aligned and will be there. But in other issues, there will be differences, and that's natural.
Okay. Is there a talk within the Congress that, Rahul Gandhi should apologize? Do you think he should just apologize?
No, this is first of all a reverse engineered frivolous case which should have never been, the complaint itself should not have been entertained. I mean, if this was not the pretext, the BJP would have found another pretext, another trigger to cause this disqualification. They were looking for a trigger to do a disqualification. So I really don't know. This is not a case to, because apologize for what? He has not referred to a community.
Okay. Okay. I also want to ask you about some within the Congress party also feel that Rahul Gandhi should be a little cautious about what he says because any work that's done on ground gets eroded completely by the statements that he makes. Whether it is the statements that he made in the United Kingdom or whether his recent statements on Savarkar. Is there a talk within Congress party with the top leaders?
I have not heard anything like that. And secondly, as far as the speeches given in the United Kingdom, it is again absurd to say that domestic issues should not be ever spoken in an international forum. Today, with the world of technology, what is an international forum and what is a domestic forum? I mean, I could speak on YouTube from here, and that means I can't speak about international issues because I'm domiciled in India. And every forum given to anybody in public life will be utilized to speak of issues which concern them. So I don't even understand this criticism at all. Everybody will use every forum.
But it's not just talking about India. He had said that he's surprised that looking at the state of democracy in India, other countries like US and the Europe are silent about it. So this.
No, I don't think. I think again, Mr. I don't think there was. Definitely democracy is diminishing in India. Democracy is not merely for the citizens to have the right to vote, to elect a person in the first past the vote system, and then the party which has the maximum legislators or MPs forming a government. That alone is not democracy.
But why do you say democracy?
Democracy is a much more holistic thing. You must have an independent judiciary, you must have a free press, you must have the right to express yourself, there must be dissent, and there must be space for others to also to exist. But that space is definitely shrinking in India. UAPA is applied on activists. So democracy is definitely diminishing, and I subscribe to the view as well. I do not just believe just because we have the right to vote and we are electing a government which has the majority, that alone does not make the democracy. I mean, Hitler was elected in Germany in 1933. Putin gets elected with 90% or 95% of the vote all the time. Erdogan gets elected all the time. So just because you have elections doesn't mean that those countries are all democratic and free.
Is it fair to make that kind of a comparison with a country like...
Today, why do all politicians or anybody even in the media only speak on WhatsApp? Why are they not making regular calls? Because you're afraid that somebody is listening to your calls. You always want to use encrypted apps to speak to each other. That is the sense of that's the sense of palpable fear.
And the BJP responded to it. He said that there was Pegasus on my phone. Many Intel officials called me and told me don't talk on the phone because we are recording your calls. This is what Rahul Gandhi said in the UK. The BJP responded to it and said that the top court of the country, the Supreme Court, has looked at it. Why didn't he give his phone?
Every totalitarian regime in this world will operate with a veneer of judicial sanction. Everything is legal. I mean, a raid on a person is legal. Incarceration is Because there is a judicial sanction. You're doing a raid because somebody is authorizing the raid. You're arrested and you're sent for judicial custody or to police custody because there is a judicial order. Just because it's happening under the cloak of the veneer of a judicial sanction does not make it moral.
I'll come back to the foreign intervention part of it, that the BJP is saying that the Congress leaders are calling for foreign intervention. Rahul Gandhi made that statement when he made that in the UK.
He did not.
He said,
one
second, allow me to finish. He said that I'm surprised that looking at the what's happening in the country, countries like US and Europe are silent. In fact, just 52 hours after that, he changed his statement and he said that this is an internal matter of India. So there must have been a change in his thought process. But immediately after that, now we have Digvijay Singh, who welcomes a statement by Germany and says, we are glad Germany has taken note of what's happening.
See, let it be very clear. The categorical position of the Congress party and my position personally is that nobody is expecting any intervention from any other sovereign entity into political affairs. While we highlight what's happening in India, we don't expect anybody to do anything about it. We will fight our political battles here. However high the odds are stacked up against us, we will fight the political battles. Diplomat is to notice what's happening in the country.
Standards of judicial independence and fundamental democratic principles should apply to Rahul Gandhi, and Digvijay Singh says we welcome this statement.
See, if the German diplomat has a view, that view is for his or her government. That is a view which they are conveying there. They are not here telling us, or we are not seeking their endorsement or support in any manner. The view of a German diplomat is for his or her government.
Okay, all right. But when you say these are issues that matter to the people, there's one video where Mr. Chidambaram, your father, is saying that we're not getting the kind of support that we want for Rahul Gandhi. It's been interpreted as that. BJP says this is Congress party admitting that we are not getting any support on ground. We want people to come, but they're not coming out.
I don't know whether your mass public protest is not something which people willingly come and do. Today, people internalize the message given to them. Protest by party cadre is in a way not necessarily spontaneous every time, and it is something which has to be organized. And public participation in these protests is getting weaker and weaker throughout the country. Apolitical people do not come and protest unless it's an emotive issue which concerns them, particularly in that area.
But there are issues like CAA and farmers agitation.
Certain issues people come or concerned will come there. But other issues people do not come. Just because they don't come to the streets does not mean that they're not paying attention to it. Communication need not just only mean street presence.
Okay. Like you mentioned, this video, this was tweeted by the BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya. Immediately after this video where he said that Chidambaram has admitted that Rahul Gandhi is not getting that kind of support, he also tweeted a video where you are in the parliament, Rahul Gandhi is just entering, and he says immediately after Chidambaram said Rahul Gandhi is not getting that support, here's Rahul Gandhi snubbing his own MP.
I mean, Amit Malviya is actually a reincarnation of Goebbels. I think the optics are very misleading and it's much ado about nothing.
Okay, so there isn't anything.
There's nothing.
But within the Congress party, is Rahul Gandhi either losing support or
not at all? I mean, let me be very categorically clear. While Mr. Kharge is the president of the party, emotively, the average card-carrying member of the party identifies himself very closely with the Nehru Gandhi family. That is the political and social reality.
So are you saying they can never be separated from Congress?
That is not necessarily only true of the Congress party. It is true of almost all political parties in India, right from National Conference in Kashmir to the DMK in Tamil Nadu. There are families. That is the social political reality of South Asia. Most political parties have a family which is the centrality and the fulcrum of the political party, and that is the social reality. That might be a situation which will evolve in 50 years, 25 years and change. But right now, if you look at Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, that is the social political reality of families having a predominant role in the centrality of political parties. And that's not something unique to the Congress, even though we are unfairly always targeted with this jibe saying you're always around a family. That is a rule, not the exception.
So does that undermine Mr. Kharge's position? Because you're saying Congress it's impossible to imagine the Congress without the Gandhi family.
I mean, see, there's no point in denying the reality. The reality is they hold a special place. Emotively, they hold a special place with the Congress cadre, and that is the reality. As the DMK cadre are emotively connected to the Karunanidhi family.
But what about the power equations?
The Congress, Mr. Kharge is a seasoned politician. He's been there for 50 plus years in active politics, and he knows how to operate this. And the Congress has always been a collective. But while within the collective, there is a centrality of an emotive glue.
Okay, all right. So, lastly, as we wrap up, I just want to ask you, yet again, we are seeing another session of Parliament being washed out completely, and this happens time and again.
It's true. It is really the onus on making Parliament function is with the government. If they give the space for the opposition to raise the issues that we want to raise, Parliament will function very smoothly. Okay. In fact, this time we saw there were more vociferous protests from their side than our side in the initial part of the session. In fact, as I told you, I asked you upfront, please give me the statistics where they have allowed adjournment motions.
Okay.
They don't allow any issue we want to raise to be raised, and that's why there is gridlock.
Okay, so no question of Rahul Gandhi's apology on the Modi statement and on the statement that he made abroad?
There's nothing to apologize. In my opinion, there's nothing to apologize on both counts.
Okay, all right. Mr. Karti Chidambaram, thank you so much for joining us here. So there you have it, the Congress MP taking all the questions, the hard-hitting questions, and what the Congress's stand is on the issue.